welcome to episode 80 of Live with the Glitter Practitioner. That's me, Dr. Noopy. I'm so excited today. I just feel like I've not done this for ages. I did it last week. It's ridiculous. My lights have just gone crazy. I think they're excited too. So, for those of you who don't know me, I am a GP. I am a family physician in the UK. I am also a transformation and spiritual life coach and keynote speaker. And oh gosh, I don't know what else really. A mum, lots of other things that I'm busy working on. And the thing that lights me up the most is sharing my passion for whole person, heart-centered care and sharing with others how to recognize their whole self-health needs, how to keep their mind, body, soul needs in balance, working in perfect harmony. And when that starts to happen, the magic really does start to flow. And that's when the glitter comes, and that's when all the sparkles come, and oh, it's amazing. I think the best way to show you how this feels, how to realign your needs, which I share through my F list, which is a holistic prescription, is through my brand story, which is just brilliant. And it was created by the insanely talented Devin James Stinson. And he's really captured the essence of the F list, of me working through it with somebody else and how that makes you feel. So I think without further ado, my wonderful producer and big bro, please may we have the brand story.
Follow the light through the storm. And this is not a light that warns, it's a light that forms on the pathway ahead. So you can maneuver around disaster instead of getting stopped by the obstacles. It just takes changing the obstacles. And then the impossible turns to possible. And then the storm lifts. You're no longer adrift. Breathe, focus, you've got this. Ahead you see a figure, a kind soul, and on the inside it feels like you might glow. Your endless cycles of cyclones have been turned to a breeze that just slightly blows. You're adorned with glitter, where you literally feel like a kid again. And this is when you realize how much of your life you've missed. And then you talk more with Dr. Noopy Aurora, who will holistically change your aura, where you and the new you won't be like strangers. No, you'll be like friends. Because this whole process is simply life-changing. So if you're feeling frazzled and you want to find your fizz and dazzle, then book a call with Dr. Noopy Aurora by messaging her right here on LinkedIn.
Oh, I love that. And I must say, actually, very quickly, huge shout out. Thank you, Margaret. I don't know if you're watching tonight, but thank you for my customized top, which she did for me ages ago. And I love it to bits. Right. I think without further ado, I cannot wait to introduce you all to my absolutely beautiful. I can see her. Come on down. Dina Fortune. Oh, hold on.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited, I can't tell you. Even my lights were having a party.
I love that. And my chair is really squeaky, which is really funny.
It's just so funny. I got so excited. Then all of a sudden, I didn't even touch them. They were like, I hadn't put the setting on to do this. And it just suddenly started. Anyway. Thank you for joining me today. It's amazing.
Having me.
You're so welcome. I'm just going to go backwards and forwards like this. Oh my goodness. Hi, Jeep. Sorry, I've not seen some of these people for like ages.
Okay.
I just noticed in the comments. Sorry, I just thought I've not even spoken to him for ages. Anyway, Dina, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have my descriptors of I'm an artist. I'm now a published international best-selling author,
Woohoo!
and yeah, and published artist as well. I'm also a ceremonial facilitator, and I'm also a channeler of divine feminine energies, including dragons. And I'm also now a co-founder of a divine feminine sacred circle and
Wow,
a Facebook group called Bringing the Dragons Home,
I
since
love it.
I'm an ambassador and a channeler of dragon energy.
Oh, Dina. Well, I'm just gonna. We've only we have reconnected in this lifetime
Yeah.
together, but we've known each other for God knows
Oh,
millions, zillions, zillions of years. The minute we met
was it?
through Rochelle Harlington, yes, and that was in person in New York, and I hadn't met you before, and then it was just this instant. And we off already, and it's exactly that. We both did the same noises as I can't speak. Oh, good grief! I knew this would happen. I knew this would happen. This is live TV. Well, live streaming. Hi, David. Thank you so much for
Hi.
joining us. Thank you. This is amazing. So, I just love everything about what you do, Dina. I mean, we can see the art behind you, and I know a lot of your work. There is so much healing and channeling that goes through in your artwork, which you then express and help others. And tell me a little bit more about that. It's incredible. I just love how you do what you do.
Well, thank you. So what happened, it's interesting. I had taken a break from painting for a while, a really long time, and I was focusing more on jewelry. And when I came back to painting, uh, I did it because I was reconnecting with my joy, wanting to reconnect with my joy, and I didn't realize how much I missed it. And so when I was doing some channel, I was just starting to do some channeling. And funny enough, I started to connect with angels, and yeah, I had gone to I started this painting, and
Mm.
it was these like beings that were like angelic and galactic looking. And I went to this place called Cosm, which Chapel of Sacred Mirrors, where they were visionary artists, is run by Alex and Allison Gray, who are like famous in the visionary art world.
Mhm.
And I wound up getting in the middle. I was painting this angelic painting, and I get in the middle of the room, and we got to share, and I put my hand up and started talking. And when I stopped talking, and I knew I was talking about oneness, but I didn't remember everything I said. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
in the world just happened. And then when I stopped talking, they were all looking at me like
Ah,
and I realized after that that I was channeling another
yeah.
aspect of myself.
Yeah.
And like I didn't even know about the word channeling up to this point, just so you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'm there, I'm sitting and I'm painting these angels, and I set the intention one day that I was going to paint with healing intentions, that I was going to
Oh.
paint to assist myself with healing my mindset, healing trauma, drama,
Mm.
like how I was looking at the world, changing my perspective. And
Mm.
then I was going to teach others how to work with art for their own healing.
Yeah.
And I did not know what I was bringing in by setting that intention. And that's like how, the angels started coming in,
Yes.
and eventually the dragons, and
Amazing.
so I started learning that I was I am an open channel.
Yeah.
And so the artwork, the energies, just they come through me, or I'm painting my higher self in all these paintings, or different aspects of me showing up. So I found that I'm a prophetic painter in that.
Wow. That's just incredible. That just blows my mind away. And it's crazy because I mean, I guess my joy, one of my I love dancing and I just lose myself actually, and the beats and music and singing and painting, drawing, but not in the same way that you do. That's more, I guess, for me, I love doing it. But I guess in the same way, it took burnout for me to really hit proper rock bottom, to the point where that was it. I was done. To then have this breakthrough, and I don't know, it's something that's always been inside, but it was almost like it's like a light going off. It's like a match, and it's just like, and then that's exactly. I guess it's just everything. Things made sense, and it's energy, and then understanding. Ah, that's what the tingles mean. Oh, right, it's me angels and this, and that's what really lights me up. I just love sharing that with other people, and the F list is infused with healing and glitter. Well, glitter, that is my sort of, I should really make an acronym for it, but glitter is that inner light, and it's how to keep that, that essence, your inner light, which is energy and just beautiful. And then you can literally spill it out, and that night glitter, it spreads. So, and that's where that all came from. But the F list is so much more than a list. It's my version of what you do with your artwork, I guess. And it was channeled. I know it was. And it
Yeah.
was like, oh, it's worth begin with an F. Oh. And I just kept getting all the words, and and it just was like, okay, yeah, got it. And then it's just grown ever since. And even when I talk to patients, I can sense almost, and I'm in tune with that. But sometimes you don't remember. I don't remember what I've said. Obviously, I've done all the medical stuff, don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
what then comes through, I get a sense of it and just piece it together in a way. It makes sense to somebody else. And I think, oh, I love doing it. I really do. And the same when talking. I never plan. I kind of know what I'm going to say for talks and stuff, but I tend to kind of see what's needed on in that time, and just really, really trust and go from my heart space. It's not failed me yet, touch wood.
I hear you. And I when this happened, when I set the intention, I was pursuing, I was working in my job, and I was I was working at my job, and I was also working in network marketing, and I
Yeah.
really was noticing I was coming up against a lot of victim mentality,
Yes.
and that was showing up. And all of a sudden, one day, I was like, why do these things keep showing up? Like, why am I interacting with all these
Mm.
people that are like in this victim mindset?
Mm.
And then one day I had this epiphany.
Mm.
It's me. It's
Yes. What's the
me.
what's the message?
What's the
What
matter?
is it? What is it you need to know or heal or learn about self? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
And then
God,
all of a sudden it was
I
like,
so know that.
oh,
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it takes like it's the universe like going, for fuck's sake, how many times do I have to tell you? What
right?
more do you need? Yeah,
Right?
totally. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
my
yeah.
art has been always a way for me to express what is going on without me
Yeah.
having to put words to it.
Yes.
And even as long as I can know, also to alchemize the energy,
Yes.
transmute
Yes.
the energy.
Exactly.
And some of my most amazing paintings
Mhm.
came from the most challenging times in my life.
Yes, I bet.
Yeah. And so I realized that, like, in addition to painting the paintings, I really want to, like, okay, what is the lesson? What is the perspective shift? What is the painting trying to show me? What is the painting trying to teach me? So it's like my paintings in essence are like oracle cards before they're in oracle card
Oh,
form.
wow.
Yeah, and I know I'm
Oh,
not
wow.
the only one that
Yeah.
does
Oh,
that,
yeah.
but, like, I do it in my own way, right? And so,
Yeah.
and
Well,
I
you're
think
unique. You're
right,
completely unique. Nobody else is going to be
totally,
able to
right,
do your thing,
right.
and that's absolutely unique to you. Same as people can see so many different physicians, doctors, or different coaches even, and you might end up with the same sort of end message perhaps, and especially with health, but the delivery is going to be very, very different, and it's who people are drawn to then as well. But yeah, it's beautiful. I love hearing about what you do. It's just amazing. It really is. And that's so correct about, even it's not just, it's the lessons that you're dealt with. And it's usually the worst of them all, the shittiest, and really when you're really on a on a really not so good space. But it's happening for a reason. And I know I'm not trying to paint a Pollyanna picture over harsh, crappy stuff. I don't wish that on anybody. But it's allowing, and that's, when you said about alchemizing, I work a lot with shadow, or I guess with more of the shadow self actually, and that's part and parcel of these denser, heavier, negative emotions and energy, which keeps you stuck. Fear is one of them. That is huge. and
Oh,
and fear, and especially in health, that's how it kind of translates through. And then it's your cells change, or the body changes, it's the response then of all of that. And that's where I kind of
yeah,
spread some glitter.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and
It's not easy, for heaven's sake. It's so not easy. And it's, I share, I guess, what I have been through, what I have learned, and then everybody's journey is their own. But it's also, I
mm,
think it's not mine to keep, and that's where the F-list came in, really. Um, it's to be shared, and if it helps somebody else, even if it's one more person, then I'm happy, happy girl.
yeah, and then it's an opportunity to, like, also shift into humor and being able to laugh
Yeah,
at our
yeah, yeah,
because
totally, totally.
yeah, I do this thing. Yes, we attract people who have something to teach us about ourselves.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, so
so,
true.
I love that expression. Triggers are treasures,
Yeah,
and so,
can be,
uh,
can be. You kind of also need to learn how to protect your energy
yeah,
and keep grounded.
yeah,
But yes, you're right. See, it's a blessing as
yeah,
well. Thank you for this lesson to teach me how to make my boundaries a little bit stronger, or be less, not less trusting, be more aware that not everybody is on that same level of, I love you, yes, unconditionally. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. And
it,
when you're going through it,
yeah,
it's hard to see,
yeah.
like, the bigger picture of it,
Mhm.
especially in, like, probably the harder, like,
Yeah.
situations of, maybe,
Yes.
abuse or,
Absolutely. Trauma, suicide,
trauma.
all of the
Yeah, it's hard.
suicidal ideation, mental health, all these, absolutely. And it is horrific. And I know I'm sort of making a bit, oh yeah, spread glitter. No way, man. It's so much harder than that. But it's showing somebody that, you know what, it's giving somebody hope,
Right.
and extending that love, extending that compassion to say, you are not on your own. I see you. And that in itself is so powerful. It's a privilege for me. And I love what David has written here, saying we can transmute hardships into blessings in disguise. Absolutely. It's delving further enough. How do you dare to delve deeper and deeper? Are you really seeing? And then it is extremely hard when you're experiencing adversity. It's not as easy as, oh, let's just apply more self-care to self. Yeah, let me love myself more. It doesn't work like that. But it's having a framework and it's breaking things down into teeny, teeny, tiny baby steps
Yeah.
and tuning into creative work like you do with your art as an expression is, I think, it's part of my F list anyway. It's the fun part on my F
Oh,
list.
yeah, fun is
Um,
fun.
yeah, and it's what makes your heart sing and your soul sparkle. And for you, I can see it. You light up when you talk about your work, your paintings, and the healing that you do, and yeah, everything really. I'm just like, I'm your biggest fan.
Thank you. Likewise. And you know what I wanted to say too, there's something and is that I found that the process of going and allowing ourselves to intuitively paint, creatively express ourselves without any, attachment to the outcome, but like
Yes,
expression
yes,
of what is my inner being want to share with me, like that's in my body, what energy needs to come out to be
yeah,
seen, whether
yeah.
it be the pain, the trauma. My body wants to show me something, it wants to release
Mhm.
something. And like, some people paint, some people write, some people
Yes,
do crafting, right?
yeah.
And um and so I feel like it's so important to, and that's why I like to teach intuitive art classes,
I was
because
just going to ask you. Yeah.
it brings out something in people, because I also bring in some energy healing and grounding and
Mhm.
intuitively guided meditations that bring them into a space of, I bring them into their own little quantum bubble of creation of
Beautiful.
like, you are a creator. You are
Yeah.
the creator of your own life. So now how
Yes.
do you use that to paint a different picture of how you see yourself in that way that
Mhm.
can show up in a painting, but then expand out into real life. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're like, whoa, I never thought I could paint like
Yeah.
that. And it's like, yeah, because the it's a shift in perception when we open up to our divinity
Yes.
and our subconscious,
Yes.
and allow our
Yeah.
subconscious to express itself through creative means. So I've been learning, like this has been like over time. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening here?
I don't, yes, absolutely. And you know what? You just reminded me. I don't know what's happening with this. Okay. Um, we've got time. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
keeping
all
I'm being very strict,
right.
kind of. Um, when I was working in practice, and bearing in mind, I worked in a very inner city practice, very deprived area, lots of trauma. I was the trauma safeguard lead and domestic abuse and all this stuff. And one of my patients had been really struggling, and I was doing my F list with her and tuning into the fun aspect. And her body had been talking to her for years, and it was presenting as chronic pain, chronic tiredness, fibromyalgia type symptoms, which we'd screened. There was nothing joint wise, everything was normal, but her pain levels were like through the roof, and it was all interlinked: trauma, mood, everything. So we were kind of addressing this with the F list and bits and pieces. And she was tapping in. She remembered loving painting and drawing as a kid, and she was really good, and then had stopped. And I remember saying, "Why don't you show me? Maybe just this is fun. This is on the list. It's on the prescription for a reason. I'm giving you permission to do this regularly. It's crucial." So she started little by little, and I just remember saying, "Look, when you come in next time, show me. I really want to see, or take a picture and show me." And through this work that she was doing on herself, for herself, she'd uncovered. Sorry if this is triggering, by the way, for anybody else, but she uncovered aspects of her life which she'd forgotten about. She'd subconsciously blocked it, but it was to do with abuse. And she expressed it through her painting. And it was this, all this, I'll never forget it. It was such a powerful image of these black butterflies literally coming out. But then as they were coming out of this hole, this is what she painted, they were sort of, as they were going away from the hole, they were changing color from dark purples, then to blues, and then to, through the spectrum of the rainbow. And it was so beautiful. And she said, oh, I would never have done this. And it was just incredible. And yes, she did have to have more therapy. I'm not for 1 minute saying she's painted this
Yeah.
picture, hey presto, it's a journey. Healing is a journey, and it's an evolving journey always. When you think you're done, something else come and bite you in the ass, probably, usually. But yeah, it's such a powerful way of expressing and coming through and healing. That's what I wanted to share with you, because when you were talking about your painting, is it just she kept popping in my head, and I thought, okay, I'll share it. Okay, fine.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and and that's like why I want to continue with this, because like it's been healing for me, and then when I have the opportunity to be with others and create that space and see what they're experiencing, I bring forth more like the energetic healing component,
Yeah,
and the spark, and I did have an experience where I was connected with a woman in Oregon, was an organization for women that are artists that are healing from sexual trauma,
yeah,
the spectrum. And she did have me, I did volunteer and offer, I donated an intuitive art class. And unfortunately, that was how I learned that being trauma informed is like a necessary thing when you're dealing with clients that are, yeah.
absolutely.
And so most of the people, like there was only one person and had to leave early. And so she was so grateful, that I showed up. But I was like, before I can do any more with that population, I want to make sure that I have the trauma informed education.
Yeah,
I realized a lot of them were having an experience of like finding it really healing and bringing peace. But I learned not to bring the drum. That was
yeah.
it. The drum.
Oh,
I was like, oh my God. And she was like, don't worry about it. You didn't know. Like, how would you have known?
oh,
And I don't talk about that much, but like after that, I was like, I wouldn't do that again, because I feel like there's so many women and men,
yeah,
that
yeah,
I love to be of service to. I just got to make sure that like I'm not bringing anything that could, potentially.
yeah.
And who would have thought that, me banging on the drum, my little,
But
harmonic
like,
drum, but
the thing is, you didn't know,
I did
and your intention though was pure, and it was from the heart space. So
live and
you
learn.
learn, don't you? Got to learn.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We don't know. We're always learning, and
And I
that's the
don't know
thing.
that she
We
would
learn
have.
from each other anyway, constantly.
Exactly.
That's exactly it. Exactly.
Exactly. And I was like, well, maybe if you can, maybe if I ever do it again, I might just ask a question. Are drums okay? Or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the thing that I was trying to get across, that I get a little communication, communication,
I
and
do the
it's so
same.
key, right? And because the reason why art was such a go-to and is still a go-to for me is at, believe it or not, as well spoken as I might seem right here, because I'm at home with you,
Yeah.
um, communication has been very challenging for me. Very challenging for me. And so being able to express myself in a way that I feel I'm being heard and safe and not
Mm,
being gaslit.
yeah.
I had a lot of gaslighting experiences
Same.
as a child, and a lot of
Same.
bullying. And so the art room was my safe space. and still is, but like here, and
Oh,
but yeah, but like I found the art room. Yeah, it is really, yep. And exactly, it helps me
exactly. Yeah.
exactly. And so like over time, I found I was able to communicate more easily with certain people than others, and
Mm.
the power of listening is so
Oh,
profound. I mean,
it's the power of the connection as well. It's the right connection and tuning in when your body's going clenching and making you feel sick or icky. And it's kind of like, oh, right, okay. And you might know, and then you have to learn something. And I know this has come up with myself. So it's taking that lesson, taking that step back and going, okay, am I connecting with people? Do I feel like my heart's going, ah, and do I feel uplifted? Or is it a drain? And I think that's the tune into your body will always tell you. And if your mind keeps sort of ignoring it, it'll just get louder and louder, basically, until you do take notice. Anyway, I'm so sorry. We're nearly running. We have run out of time. Oh, shit. Okay, I know. Dina, will you please come back on again?
yes, I will. Just try to be quick by giving you a thumbs up. Yes, I will.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I've loved today. Oh, thank you so much for sharing your energy, your passion for what you do, and just your artwork. I've got my eye on that purple one, the rectangular one.
This one.
Yes, yes,
Oh, thank you.
that's
Thank you so much for
gorgeous.
having me.
Oh, thanks for coming. Don't go anywhere. I'll just quickly wrap up and I will come and join you in the green room. Oh, she's such a beautiful soul. I feel very, very blessed to have connected with her, and yeah, she's amazing. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I can't believe it's episode 80. That's crazy. Have an amazing week. Oh, yes, you can find me here every week on LinkedIn on Mondays at 8 p.m. GMT, which is 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, which is also 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also get hold of me, direct message me on LinkedIn, or use my Calendly link. And if you can't get hold of me, do get in touch with my amazing big brother and my amazing producer, Russ Hedge at russhedge.com. You probably have more luck getting hold of him, in fact, than you will of me. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Have an amazing week. I can't actually believe, holy moly, this time next week it's going to be Christmas Day. Have an amazing week, and I shall see you again. Bye.